Hey guys, what's up? It's Iflin here, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of defending in this how to get better at Rainbow Six Siege video. Now, I'm not going to be showing like proper gameplay of me being in a match. I'm going to jump into a terrorist hunt and just kind of show you the different mechanics of defending, just so then whenever you jump into ranked or multiplayer or whatever, you know what everybody is referring to whenever they ask you to do a particular thing, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and choose laundry room. These sites, they shouldn't really mean anything to you because this is a game mode called Hostage that we're doing, and you're not gonna be playing this game mode in ranked, because this entire playlist is supposed to be about getting better at particularly bomb, right? So because that's the main game mode that you play in ranked. But we're picking Jaeger because he is like one of the most picked operators on the defending side. He's probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest operator for defending. So if there's an operator that you want to pick up on defense who's relatively cheap because he's a vanilla operator, Jaeger is probably the operator that you want to pick up because his gun is insane and his gadget is also insane, but we're not here to talk about that. So whenever you're defending, your objective is to defend an objective, right? That is common sense. What you want to be doing is reinforcing around the site that you are protecting for the most part and at its most basic level. So if you walk up to a soft wall, you go ahead and you hold down your reinforce button, whatever it may be. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put up what is known as hard walls, right? So we refer to these, whenever I'm playing in a team, we refer to these as hard walls, and then you have the walls that you can shoot through, which are soft walls. Every single player in the defending team, unless you're playing recruit, is going to have two reinforced walls or two hard walls that they can put onto the soft walls, right? I'm just going to go ahead and try to kill some of these enemies here and, just make it a little bit quieter for us. I'm going to leave one or two of them alive, I think. There we go. So you can see that we've got our gadget, which, that's your operator-specific stuff. And then you have a little bit of utility, and your utility could be a reinforced shield, it could be barbed wire, it could be a bulletproof camera, stuff like that. Now, the thing with defending operators is they have a lot of different ways to get a lot of different information, right? So, in our case, we're playing Jaeger. We've got our barbed wire. So what we're going to use our barbed wire for is putting on the stairs, so then we know if we can hear this little sound effect of somebody walking through the barbed wire, we know that there's going to be an enemy coming through the barbed wire, so that means that they're going to be on the stairs, right? Now, you can also listen for the sound if the enemy's hitting the barbed wire as well, so if you hit it, it makes that sound right there. It takes 2 hits to destroy the barbed wire. You want to be listening out for that sound because, that way you're going to know exactly where the enemy is coming from. You've also got, of course, your gadget. Now, like I mentioned, Jaeger is probably one of the strongest operators in the game. So his gadget, it's very important that you know how his gadget works because, like, it's going to be, like, the centerpiece for a lot of different setups that you come up with in Siege, because that's what it's all about at, like, the highest level of play. Like, realizing the different strategies and stuff that you can do for each and every bomb site, right? So Jaeger's ADS, it is a little trophy system that you can place down that is going to destroy grenades that sort of like come within its line of sight, right? So whenever a grenade flies past the line of sight of this ADS right here, it's going to zap it and it's going to destroy it. It's just going to disappear out of thin air. Every single ADS has 2 charges to it, so you've got 3 of them, so that's 6 explosives or thrown things that is going to be destroyed by this character, basically, right? So he's very, very strong, especially on maps where there is a garage that has a drone hole, right? So this map doesn't have a drone hole on it, but let's assume this little area right here is the drone hole. You would place your ADS somewhere near or directly above the drone hole, and then what happens is if an enemy tries to throw a grenade or a projectile or something through the drone hole to destroy gadgets that are on the other side of the guards wall, because you'd have that reinforced, then your ADS would zap it. So if Thatcher is banned, usually what happens is you would double up on the ADS, and then that way it would be almost impossible. Well, not almost impossible, but a lot more difficult for the enemies to, get into the guards, simply because, you know, they have to burn that utility before they can get in, right? So it's just making it so they have to burn more utility before they can do what they want to do. So it's wasting time in the round, and it's wasting resources for them, and that's basically what it's all about. So that's kind of your job as a defender, to waste as many like resources as possible and waste as much time as possible as well. And then of course damage the enemies as much as you possibly can while staying alive and not taking damage at the same time, right? So you'd have a character like Lesion, who's a trap operator. He can throw down these little goo mines which are going to stick into enemies' feet and then poison them, damage them over time, that type of thing. And his goo mines like recharge over time, so he can have up to 7 of them, and he gets more of them as the round goes on. He's a very, very good operator for wasting the enemy's health and making it easier for you as a defender to win a gunfight, because not only do they have to waste time to you know, take the goo mine out, it's taking away their health, and you know, they have to take cover and just be aware of the fact that the goo mine is also going to make noise. You know, there's probably someone pushing them at that point in time and all that there cool kind of stuff. So that's kind of your job as a defender, to just, like, you know, waste a lot of time. My aim is really bad today. I don't know why. But waste a lot of time, waste a lot of resources. We'll jump into another character once I finish this this T-Hunt, and it should be over right now. You've got different, like, types of characters as well, and whenever we get onto the character selection screen, I'll sort of like briefly go through all of them just so you sort of understand. You've got information gaining operators, you've got like denial operators who are like all about denying the diffuser being planted. You've got your utility like operators like Jaeger, who, you know, they're good at destroying the resources off the enemies and stuff like that. And you've also got like other operators who have like denial like gadgets, like Bandit, for example, who is going to stop enemies from using their gadgets unless they destroy your gadget to get into like certain places, right? So if we go ahead and we vote for a retry, and we take a look if it would like to load. Awesome. So we choose our area or whatever. We've got, you know, our roamer-like characters. So Pulse, he's good at, like, gaining information through walls. Valk, she can gain information through your cameras. You've got your enemy gadget denial, which is Bandit, who can destroy the thermite charges. You've got plant denial, which is Echo, who can stop the enemies from planting. Maybe Maestro, smoke and stuff can do that. You've got your sort of utility-like operators, Mira, Jaeger, etc. And you've got your trap operators like Lesion. And I'll pick up Lesion just because you'll understand the side effect that I was talking about whenever an enemy stands in a goo mine. So we're playing on a different site this time, actually, so this one might be a little bit more difficult to defend because a lot of different ways that they can come in from. But you can see down the bottom center of my screen there, down at the right, you can see that I've got my gadget behind the middle mouse button, and you can see the little like circle or the donut, the 0. And it's got like this progression bar above it. That's how long it's taken for my Lesion mines to recharge, right? So whenever it fills up completely, I've got another Lesion mine back. And I can go and pick these up midway through the round, just throw them back down again or whatever. So it makes this nice little sound. For some reason, they're not doing it. I don't know why it doesn't work in T-Hunt. His goo mines just don't work. But, you know, you can throw these out, and then enemies are going to walk, and they're going to make like a glass breaking sound, so to speak, which is going to sort of like notify you as to, you know, the fact that the enemy is standing in that trap, I guess you could say. So, you know, the defenders can just gain a lot more information than the attackers can, and you have to use that to your advantage, right? The fact that, you know, you just know where the enemies are, and then you can like put them in a situation or a position where they are at a disadvantage, which makes it a lot easier for you to sort of like win a gunfight. And you even play based off of the sound of what the enemies are doing, right? So I know that these guys destroyed the hatch, which must mean that they're coming from the hatch, or they're somewhere upstairs, right? So at the higher level of play, what they'll usually do is they will like try to fake like a hatch drop or something, right? They'll blow up a hatch, but then they'll come down the stairs, or they'll blow up the hatch and then they'll wait or something like that, and then they'll drop down, or they'll go back outside and they'll try to rappel down, or they might fake a rappel or something. It's all about using the sound to your advantage, to sort of like tell where the enemies are as a defender, and then not over peeking as well, because like keep in mind that the time is on your side, and the defenders have, or not the defenders, the attackers have to make a play for the objective, right? They have to push into the bomb site to plant the diffuser, where, you know, you don't have to do that. You can just sit in a corner or something and hold an angle and make it so that the enemies have to, like, push you before they can get in. And chances are, like, if you know exactly where the enemy is, you're gonna win the gunfight because you've got the better position. Hopefully you're holding the better position, like behind cover or something. Like, you see a lot of defenders, they'll just sit in the open like this here. They'll be sitting at a door frame or something, and they'll be holding it like this. This is very, very, very bad, right? Of course, you can see the front door, right? But all an attacker has to do is peek around that front door like this, and then you're dead. They have to pre-fire like that. Where if you're a defender and you're holding these stairs, for example, right? I just fat-fingered that. You're holding these stairs, for example. Okay. Thanks for ruining it, AI. You're holding the stairs, for example. You've got all that cover, and all you have to wait for is the enemy to push in, and then you can peek him, or you can literally just wait for the enemy to push past you. That's assuming that he doesn't know where you are, right? So the other thing you have to look out for as a defender is the fact that you can get droned out, right? So they're going to be using their drones, and wow, it finally worked. They're going to be using their drones, and that's how they're going to find out where you are. So, like, if you get droned out, what you want to do is you want to change position, right? So let's say I'm holding here, an attacker drones me out, and, you know, they're going to, like, they're standing at that door to drone me out. You can either choose to take the fight and, like, pre-fire where the attacker is going to shoot, or you can change up your position entirely and then wait for them to push up and find out that you're not actually there, and then you can peek them like that. So you kind of have to get used to that quick thinking whenever you get droned out, and keep in mind that, like, the same thing never works twice in a row, especially as a defender. Like, if you hold a certain angle or you do a certain spawn peek or something like that, like, let's say, for example, I peek and they spawn over there, like, if I try to do that the next round, probably not going to work. So, you know, change positions whenever you get drones. Make sure you're putting up your reinforcements. Make sure you're using your gadgets and taking advantage of them. Make sure that whenever you get droned, you change position and listen out for what's happening around the map. Like, use the layout of the map to your advantage. Learn the maps as a defender, and that's going to help you win a lot more of your defense rounds and stuff like that. But honestly, that's really all there is I can say about the basics of defending. Make sure that you get your reinforcements up during prep phase, and also make sure that your gadgets are up during prep phase as well. That is unless they are using the likes of a Twitch drone or something, because if they have a Twitch drone, then obviously they're just going to destroy your stuff, and if your stuff is destroyed, well, then it's not being useful, and then you know, obviously you're not really helping your team out with your character pick. So that only really happens for characters like Jaeger. Well, actually every single operator that there is on defense, their gadgets can be destroyed by the likes of Thatcher and Twitch and stuff like that. It's just like during prep phase, the Twitch can come in and destroy your gadgets, but she's very easy to counter because, you know, you can just shoot her drone and stuff like that. So yeah, that is the basics of defending. I guess let's go ahead and close this round out. Why did they start working now? You know what, I'll go ahead and make an enemy walk into my goo mine. What's he doing? Hello? Hello? Flawless game, guys. Oh, it doesn't want to work anymore? There you go. That's what the sound sounds like. Doesn't even react to it. There you go. But yeah, that's the basics of defending, guys. I know there was a lot to that. It was kind of a quick video, kind of rambly, but just the type of video that I wanted to make today. Hopefully you guys picked up a little bit from it. It's just to sort of give you a basic rundown of how to defend and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.